Hey, Divine Mommy fam, how's everybody doing? Well, I did say you'd be seeing a lot more of me, and I'm holding true to that sacred commitment. And I have to be honest, it was inspired by an outside source. On Monday, I had a meeting with a publisher for the Soul to Sisterhood book, and they really liked the project. And they also said, "We want your social media footprint to grow big and fast." And I got to be honest with you, that kind of sent me into a downward spiral. I have had a very indifferent relationship with social media, and to be completely transparent, there's a part of me that feels it's a necessary evil, and then another side of me that gets totally juiced and excited when I get interaction. So, how does this correlate to what's going on in our skies? Well, we have a dark crone moon solar eclipse, right, with Mercury in retrograde. So, how does that correlate? Well, if I had just started to post and not really thought about what was going on inside of me in regard to this relationship, I would have just cut off from a big part of me that was coming forward to let me know some pretty amazing things about myself, right? I would have just gone ahead and released without doing the other aspects of the equation, which are processing and integration. And that's what this solar eclipse offers us, right? The dark moon always offers us beautiful opportunities for release. Yes, that's what it's about. It correlates to the bleeding time of the menstrual cycle where our uterine lining shed. It correlates to winter, right? The release of life as our temperatures grow colder so that Mother Earth can replenish to be born again anew in spring. It relates to the seasonal archetype of the crone, right? Through the seasons and phases of womanhood, the archetype of womanhood of the crone, of just getting to that place of standing so firm in your truth that you release all that doesn't serve you. And as Mother Moon goes dark, right, she releases the hold of her light so that she can pull in and rest and replenish. So the potency of release is not lost on me, and it's been something that I've talked about at length in my groups and in my personal work, and I firmly stand on the foundation of how crucial release is for us. However, what the solar eclipse today and this image of the ring of fire has brought forth for me is that release is only one aspect of the process, and we are works in process. Release is only one aspect of it. If we release and just cut ourselves off, right, and we just bury it, what happens? What we bury doesn't purify, it putrefies. However, if through this beautiful process of release with self-love, we step into processing why these things are coming up, these thoughts, feelings, and situations, if we process around them and then integrate it, we become this expansion of the ring of fire. It's not called an explosion of fire. It's called a ring of fire. We expand to encapsulate and include, right? We want to include these parts of ourselves through the integration process of, yes, calling our higher selves to come online too, our celestial selves to come online to aid with this process. But we really want to remember that release without process and integration is cut off. We're turning our back towards something. But when we can alchemize this process through compassionately witnessing ourselves process, understanding what's going on for us and why, when we can compassionately witness the integration process of inclusion, right? Of not othering this side of ourselves, not making us feel guilty for what we're thinking or feeling or what we've done, but with self-forgiveness and self-acceptance and self-understanding, including and integrating these parts of ourselves. So that has come forward as a big wisdom teaching for me through this experience of what's happening for us, the opportunity, right? And to me, this opportunity really is a big opportunity of self-love, right? Because when we take that time to go dark, to understand what it is that we want to release that's no longer serving us, but when we do it with the energy of integration and processing, giving ourselves the time it takes to do what we need to do, right? That is a deeper invitation into self-love. Because we're not just cutting things off and charging ahead like a freight train. We're figuring out why we're doing the things we're doing. We're compassionately witnessing ourselves as we figure that out. And we're also integrating it with awareness and understanding and acceptance. Big opportunities, right? The other thing too that's come up for me is boy, I just haven't been feeling like my brain's been my brain for the last maybe week, 2 weeks. And I know I'm on a process of going dark. You know, I just finished the 2 Divine Mommy University 201 groups. And that happened not this past Friday, but the Friday before. So tomorrow it'll be 2 weeks. And I knew I needed a process to kind of go dark, right? Just like Mother Moon's going dark, has gone dark for us today on the 10th. But I knew I needed this process to go dark so that I could replenish, so that I could be born again anew. And so through this process, there's also been the fear, right? The fear of confusion of, uh-oh, maybe I'm not going to be able to retain the information like I used to be. Then what? And I sat with that for a while. I processed it. And my higher self came online to help me integrate it. And what I've realized is that, yes, the doing has been crucial. That's been the foundational work. However, through the doing, diligently doing, what I've done is I've also integrated to a point of embodying. So, no, today, do I have all of the facts and dates and geographic locations of all of the goddess herstory and archaeomythology work that I've been studying for the last 5 years? No, it's fuzzy, it's hazy. But what I do have is I do have that white lightning knowing of the divine feminine power, the divine feminine consciousness, I should say the divine feminine empowerment within me. I am being it. I have become it. I don't need to do it anymore. Now, does that mean my Earth School journey is done? Heck no. I know there's going to be loads more stuff coming up for me to figure out, you know, to do and then become. However, something else that rings true for me too is the doing, the consumptive confusion of the doing, right? And of that in and of itself, consuming, right? So that we can do and do and do. That in and of itself creates almost like a dualistic perspective or a dualistic way of relating to ourselves. And this is the Gemini coming in today to offer us support too. So when I'm in that doing phase, right? And then I get to what happened to me this week where I'm like, gosh, I can't hardly remember anything. Who am I? Who is this person? Right? When I'm at that place, I can choose to be weighed down by my confusion and step into dualism of, well, I used to know this, now I don't know this. What's on the other side of the equation? Ergo, I'm not me anymore. I don't get to do my work anymore. Heck no. Another way to sort of conceptualize and compartmentalize, which is part of what our human being does, right? To survive, comes about for really good reason, is we always are looking to make sense of things as an either or. We compartmentalize. That's dualism, right? I'm either good or bad. I'm either with it or not with it. I either feel clear or muddy, right? I'm either connected or not connected. But what this has brought forth for me today to learn for myself and to hopefully share is that through all of these things coming together, I've released that dualism through the integration process of becoming. And I've realized that yes, I can understand it as a both and, right? I am clear, I am not clear, and I am still divine, right? I'm connected, I'm not connected, and I'm still me. And yet I can also, through the ring of fire, expand that even more and realize that I'm way more than both and, right? I am the infinite beyond, as Michael Singer says in his work. And if I am the infinite beyond, then there's no either or, right? There just is. And so that's another thing, you know, when we integrate with awareness, we activate with awareness. Now, what does that mean? Integrating with awareness is just kind of what I've been talking about, right? We bring forth, we bring in, we compassionately witness, we take the time, we apply self-love and understanding, acceptance, forgiveness, compassion, and all that good stuff, right? We integrate with awareness. That's what integrating with awareness is. And then we activate with awareness. So by me activating with awareness, right, I am aware of what's going on. I'm aware of my human processes, and I'm aware of my divine processes, my celestial self, my human self, my higher self, my Jamie self. And I'm aware of integrating that with awareness, right? And knowing that I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning and probably forget a good part of this, you know, and feel the confusion, but I can always get back to that activation with awareness state, which is where I'm at right now, that I am actively activating this, right? This human body, the spiritual being having a human experience. I'm actively activating that with awareness. So I don't, and nothing's ever lost, energy is never lost, but so that I am consistently incorporating it, including it, expanding it within this consciousness. So it's interesting, we've got our crone dark moon, we've got this wisdom teaching coming forward of realizing that release is only one part of the process, right? We got to release, process, and integrate, and that's probably an infinity loop of them all coming about in different ways and in different orders, right? To give us this deeper invitation into self-love, and to also remember that in the doing and in the sort of survival self-push to do more so that we don't rest and integrate and activate, and I'm going to talk more about that in a second, help me remember, in that process of the survival self, like pushing, we've got to remember that we don't have to do anymore, because we are becoming. And when we become, it's a much different vibration and much different energy. So that survival self, right? That survival self that is the part of me that says, keep on going, be that freight train. Don't stop. Don't stop to integrate. Don't stop to process, because you know what? Somebody else has always got it worse. You've got no excuses, right? That's just my survival self trying to keep me doing so that I don't stop to heal, so that I don't stop to integrate, so that I don't stop to process, because my survival self believes that if I stop, I'm not safe anymore. The faster I run, the more secure I am, right? So I've got to let my divine higher self come in and love my survival self, right? To say it's okay to stop, it's okay to rest, it's okay to integrate, it's okay to process, because when you do that, you really activate and different aspects of your consciousness comes online. So namaste. Wow, so much to think about. So I'm going to keep with my sacred commitment of recalibrating my divine purpose. Not solely. I mean, I'm still going to do my individual work and my healing work and my groups, and it's going to be expanding to include this social media presence. And if it gets the publisher to be happy with the footprint, great. And if it doesn't, great, because I have taken the time to process and integrate this into my divine purpose. So how can you take some time to process and integrate into your divine purpose, right? It's that release process. The crone dark moon is the most fertile time of our cycles, right? The crone dark moon, not our menstrual cycle per se, but of our cycle, our cyclical awareness, because we are clearing the fields for new life to be planted. All right, namaste. I love you. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you for being with me. And as my good friend Jackie says, thank you for being me.